Happy Christmas Eve, everybody. I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I think I have a plan to fix the New York Jets' long-term quarterback issues. Yikes. Let's get into it.
I'm going to lose my gas-started bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. Happy Christmas Eve to all of you, and whatever holidays you choose to celebrate. Happy holidays, Kwanzas and Hanukkahs and everything in between. Hopefully you guys get to spend some good time with the fam. I am Paul Eston Jr., again, a.k.a. Boy Green. This is Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you find your friggin' podcast, people. Make sure as you walk in, you hit the like button, hit subscribe, spread the gospel. Here it is, folks. I'm just going to lay it on the line. I've been thinking about this for a while, but I thought today was the best day of any of them to tell you guys my plan at quarterback long-term for the New York Jets. Let me lay it on you. We also have an article in the YouTube description down below if you'd like to click and read along. Here's the plan. Okay? So let's lay the groundwork first. The Jets beat the Jaguars not this past week, 2 weeks ago. That kept them out of the running for the top of the draft. The Jets would have had a path to like a top 3-ish pick if they would have lost out. Obviously, that has not happened. We'll see what happens in these final two games of Bills and Dolphins, but likely the Jets are out of the conversation for the top two quarterbacks in this class in this 2025 NFL draft. From everything we understand is Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and then a bunch of guys. And because the Jets are out of the running for the draft, you're like, okay, so we're not going to find an option there. All right, let's dip into free agency. And as we've talked about 1,000 times, you're like, it's Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, and then a bunch of guys. Well, Sam Darnold is unlikely to return to the Jets. We'll do a show on that, I'm sure, at some other time. And then the only other guy is Russell Wilson, and things are going great in Pittsburgh. Why would he leave? So then that leaves you with a bunch of middling options in free agency. So like, okay. And then what's your other door? So here's my plan. The New York Jets bring Aaron Rodgers back for 2025. Get him to take a pay cut. Get him to mentor a young quarterback, which, by the way, old Aaron Rodgers said he'd be open to. We have the quote in our story down below, but here was the quote from old Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show. This was yesterday. Quote, if there was a situation where the new staff came in and wanted me to be there and also wanted to make a pick for the future and pick a quarterback, if there's one there they really liked, then of course that he would want to mentor the young quarterback. Here's another comment. As far as pay cuts, I think I've already proven I'm willing to take a pay cut. I've made a ton of money. So great answers there from Aaron Rodgers. He's willing to mentor a young quarterback. He's willing to take a pay cut. So you get a pay cut, Aaron Rodgers. You get a guy who's willing to mentor a young quarterback. Now, he said in his scenario of the Jets drafting a quarterback, like I said, currently right now there's nobody that makes sense. The Jets currently hold the number 8th overall pick in the first round in Tankathon Draftland. And there's currently not someone there. So let's get creative. Let's call up the Minnesota Vikings and trade for JJ McCarthy. Let's do it. The former Michigan product. The Jets had their chance at JJ McCarthy. They originally had the 10th overall pick. They handed it on a silver platter to Minnesota, picked up some extra draft compensation, and booyah, they took Olu Fashanu. Vikings took JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy, we have no idea what he was going to be because, unfortunately, his rookie season was compromised due to injury. Tore his meniscus. Out for the whole year. Had a second surgery during the season. He was out. And our boy Sam Darnold took over, and Sam Darnold's been awesome. So the Vikings have a decision to make. Do they let Sam Darnold go as an unrestricted free agent? Do they tag him? Do they give him a long-term deal? What happens? Who knows? No one knows at this point. But if they sign Sam Darnold to a long-term deal, well, what the hell does that mean for J.J. McCarthy, who was a top 10 pick? Top 10 pick boy would have no path to the starting lineup, and his job was stolen. Jets can come in and provide that answer. The Jets have limited options in the draft, so they can't find it doesn't appear, at least right now, they have this great option in terms of a young quarterback. You'd get JJ McCarthy at a discount, and he's a first-round quarterback, and he's a winner, and he's young. He's 21 years of age. That sounds good to me. Again, he was a winner in college. That also is intriguing. I know people say wins aren't a quarterback stat and all that other jazz, but he was 40-3 in his career as the starting quarterback, including Michigan winning the national championship in his final season of 15-0 campaign. 6'2", 219 pounds. He's an operator of an offense, can get the ball from point A to point B. And again, he made plays when it mattered most. He's tough as hell. He takes hits and delivers the ball where it needs to go. Here's my offer to the Minnesota Vikings, and some of you may think this is crazy and too aggressive, but it's a quarterback here. And if you get the quarterback right, no one cares what you gave up. So it's a little complicated here. The Vikings don't have a second-round pick, which, like I said, complicates it a little. But here's this. Here's my offer to the Minnesota Vikings, and normally I like to start lower to work my way back up. Minnesota Vikings, we will give you a first-round pick swap. The Jets pick 8th, you pick 30th. That's a massive gap, I understand. And you, the Vikings, give us your third-round pick. That's 97 overall. That's a top 100 pick. So we get their late first, their third-rounder, and JJ McCarthy for the 8th overall pick. There's my plan. Boom. Throw it out there in the universe. I'm willing to negotiate on that price, but it's hard to ascertain a proper trade value for JJ McCarthy because I evaluate things like a not necessarily a used car lot, but any car lot. When you buy a car, the moment you drive it off the lot, the value starts to depreciate. It starts to go down immediately. So the value is, unless they do something special, right? Like, so Patrick Mahomes are like, oh, that value went like, wee, that value went over the top. So it starts to go down. So he's not worth, JJ McCarthy, he's not worth the 10th overall pick. And I was doing some of the calculations in draft value chart. The Jets' 8th overall pick is worth 1,400 points, according to the draft value chart. The Vikings' 30th overall pick is worth 620 points. Their top 100 pick, which is a late third rounder, is 112. And so their combination of picks is worth 732 points. Jets' pick is worth 1,400 points. And then there's this gap of somewhere in the ballpark of, 668 points. Is that worth it? Is that what JJ McCarthy is? Again, we can't really, ascertain value. It's a little difficult to do. He already lit one of his cheap years of team control on fire with this injury, unfortunately, that he suffered. But like I said, my ideal plan is this. We bring Aaron Rodgers back in 2025. We trade for JJ McCarthy. You have a quarterback room of Aaron Rodgers, Tyrod Taylor, JJ McCarthy, Jordan Travis. Sorry, pal. You could be on the practice squad. We'll see if anyone swipes you up. I don't know what's going to happen there because Jordan Travis is a late 5th round pick who has had multiple setbacks in his rehab, which is unfortunate. But the wheel keeps spinning for the New York Jets. Hey, bring all 4 of them into camp and see what happens in terms of Aaron, Tyrod, JJ, and Jordan Travis, and maybe you get surprised somewhere. But that's it. Yeah, see, number one Austrian Jet fan says, hey, we beat you, we trade for JJ, he gets beat up by Travis. I guess that's possible. Who knows? But I want the Jets to have a long-term quarterback option. And Jordan Travis isn't a great one based on everything we've seen so far. He was a late 5th round pick. He has the very serious injury he had in college. And we don't know the health status. He apparently, this was a concerning thing I heard from Rich Cimini a bunch of weeks back, that Jordan Travis was so frustrated with his rehab, they took a break from it. He just had to step away. And he wasn't at the team facility, wasn't practicing and things of that nature because he was apparently so frustrated with the surgery rehab. Which, again, that doesn't sound great for his prospects of returning in the near future. So the Jets have to look out for the A1 themselves for a long-term quarterback. So he just intrigues me a lot. I was intrigued by him during the draft process. He's a talented guy. And as Austrian Jet fan says, he was a 5th round pick because of the injury, but then he's still having complicating levels from the injury. So he doesn't look healthy even now, which again goes to show you that maybe teams were a little scared by this injury, not just short term, but long term. Maybe never comes back. It was a gruesome leg fracture. He may never come back. And I think in the NFL, there are two types of people or two types of teams. Those who have quarterbacks and those who don't. The Jets either don't or barely, because Aaron Rodgers is on his last legs. He's not going to be here for the next 5 years. He's not going to be here for the next 10 years. He might not even be here the next 3 years. Maybe he will be back next season. Jets don't have a long-term answer. But what they could have is a short-term answer, allow JJ McCarthy to recover. Like I said, he's coming off of surgery, tore his meniscus. He had a second surgery this season from some cleaning up, apparently, of some things that were askew. So allow him to get fully healthy. Let him learn behind a Hall of Famer and Aaron Rodgers. And then you turn the keys of the franchise over to JJ McCarthy in 2026. Booyah. That's my plan. I've been thinking about it for weeks, maybe months, and we just haven't had the right show or wins or this, probably not wins, but all kinds of things have been happening. So we haven't had the perfect time for me to write out my plan. I wrote it out this morning. I'm going to do a little bit more digging to see if there's something else we could talk about in terms of trade value. Is there another unique way we can pull this off where maybe it's not as rich for the Jets, but also the Vikings invested a top 10 pick into this guy. Now, they seem quite pleased with the Sam Darnold experience, which could affect them the other way on what they want to pay, because that's what it is. People may say, hey, are you going to keep JJ McCarthy? You got Sam Darnold that you just gave blee, blah, blue to. Again, there's a lot of speculation on what could be happening here. A lot of speculation. But damn it, he's a talented kid. I'm intrigued. I am absolutely intrigued. In college, he's coming off this season where he had a 72% completion percentage, 2,991 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 picks. His sophomore season, 22 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's just, over the last 2 years where we've gotten a great sample size of JJ McCarthy, he's an incredibly accurate quarterback. He had a 64.6% completion percentage, then jumped up to 72%. 2,700 yards, 2,900 yards, 22 touchdowns in each of those years, but he had one less interception the following year. And, of course, well, they won the national championship. So he's a scheme kid, tough as nails, can throw the ball. Again, he's a winner. He has that it factor. He's got this chip on his shoulder. To me, it is intriguing. Snowball asked, Paul, why are we trading for damaged goods? Hell, I just explained it, Snowball. I just explained it, my friend. The Jets have limited quarterback options. There's no one in the draft right now that the Jets could get because of their placement. Okay? There's no one that they can get in the draft as it currently sets up. There's no options in free agency. And then the trade options are limited as well. And I like JJ McCarthy last year, so that also factors in. And you get it at a discount. We're not trading for a damaged good at top 10 pick value. They're getting really nice value, as I've been talking about here with my potential trade proposal I came up with as I was kind of trying to get a good answer here. But I have no problem trading for quote-unquote damaged goods. It's a unique scenario. Hey, Drew Brees shook free of then San Diego with Phillip Rivers there. Drew Brees became a Hall of Fame quarterback with the New Orleans Saints. It happens, baby. People shake free. Things happen. It's weird, man, what's happening there in Minnesota land. So, yeah, man. I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. And then, hey, I've opened myself up to the injured players jokes. I'm aware of that. I'm absolutely aware of that. But that's something I'd be for. I'm all in, baby. I'm all in. Hey, by the way, as we're here on Christmas Eve, let me flip the banner, baby. Our Boy Green emoji contest and raffle giveaway is going on. All the information is always in the scrolling ticker. Whoever gifts the most memberships throughout the month of December, which, again, we have another week to be able to do so, they will be gifted a custom emoji built by our guy, Snowball, who we just talked about earlier. And then every gifted membership or super chat or some other creative way, there's a lot of options you guys can gift money in, but every raffle ticket is $2.99 per. You get a chance to win our grand prize at the end of the month, which will be given away at the beginning of January. But all the gifted memberships in December count towards this giveaway, where we're going to give away a Jets jersey, which is going to be awesome. We're going to be giving away autograph merch. We're going to be giving away other cool stuff from my personal vault for you awesome fans. So make sure you gift those memberships, baby. And by the way, let me give you the quick leaders. Number one Austrian Jet fan, 37. He's tied with Chef Kevin Gilbert at 37. We've got a bunch of people at 30. FL Phil, 98. Fleur Lillian, Big D. Ed Vargas. And we've got a couple of 20s. Devin, DNY for life. Neil Sr. jumped in. MFC at 24 memberships. We've got a lot of people popping, baby. We love it. We absolutely love it. All right, let's keep reading your comments. Pop says, no reason for Jets to get discount double check. Okay, I'll open up the phone lines here in a second, and people can explain why I'm an idiot and why perhaps, they don't want old JJ here. Number one Austrian Jet fan says, and don't forget to get a decent quarterback coach. Abso-friggin-lutely. Yeah, we need a whole offensive plan to bring somebody in. That's a big piece of the development process, of course. Absolutely. So, who knows? Okay. Josh Parker says, what did you say the Jets would give up? What would the price be? Okay, let me just read this. Here's my plan. This again, I'm just making this up. I've been trying to figure out the value. Like I said, I've been thinking about this for months, but I'm trying to think of the value because it's complicated. It's complicated because Sam Darnold's continued to play well, and there's a reality where Sam Darnold stays with the Vikings, and then JJ McCarthy is hanging in the mix. I say a first-round pick swap. The Jets currently have the 8th overall pick. The Vikings have the 30th overall pick. Now, that's a massive swap-a-rooney, obviously. And then the Jets also get the Vikings' 3rd-round pick. They don't have a 2nd-round pick. They did all the crazy trade stuff, so they don't have a 2nd-round pick. So their next pick available after the 1st round is a 3rd-round pick, which is 97th overall, top 100 pick. So Vikings swap first-rounders with the Jets, give them that 97th overall pick and JJ McCarthy. So basically, the Jets pick up an extra pick. They pick up JJ McCarthy, but they have to go all the way to the back end of the 1st round. That's my plan. Again, that might sound crazy. It might be too expensive, but it's the quarterback position. And if you get that right, who cares the price you paid? That's currently what I'm thinking. Yeah, baby. Number one Austrian Jet fan with a gifted membership. Yes, sir. You love to see it, baby. You love to friggin' see it. So shout out to our number one Austrian Jet fan for gifting a membership, and you are now in sole possession of first place in our emoji contest with, let's count them up, 38 gifted memberships so far this month. And booyah, you have surged, like I said, into first place, which is absolutely terrific. Our number one Austrian Jet fan. That gifted membership, by the way, went to Greg Coleman'sberger. Greg Coleman'sberger. You've just jumped in. And good Lord have mercy. Oh my. Jimmy Jets with a 20-piece combo. Wow. Merry friggin' Christmas. Good Lord have mercy. That's what I'm talking about, baby. One more time. Wow, Jimmy Jets. Thank you, sir. That is friggin' amazing. And Jimmy Jets, you've surged. You now have 25 gifted memberships so far this month. You are well into this race, brother. Let's give the shout out to the 20 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Okay. Sharp Instincts, Lucky Leo, SONY17, Boba Jet, Ron Reese, Joe Baxter, Jerry Spence, Dan Hops, Seth Martinez, Timothy Moore, Rex Ryan, hey now, ISURB4L, Grand Peasy, Florida Man of Culture, Izzy Blanco, Thomas Hibbert, Dan Krumnecker, Genergy, welcome back, King Lowski, hey now, Mercy Fate, you guys all have now been gifted Boy Green Coffee Club memberships from our guy Jimmy Jets, baby. So friggin' cool. And of course, that's 20 raffle tickets on top of the 5 you already had. So you have 25 total raffle tickets, baby. Beautiful. And of course, you're very much in our emoji contest as well. God bless America, baby. And Jimmy Jets says, Merry Christmas, even you uncouth monsters. I love it. Awesome. Thank you, Jimmy Jets. Thank you, number one Austrian Jet fan. Thank you, guys. Amazing for the holiday spirit on Christmas Eve. Oh, this is going to be a historic show, baby, with all these gifted memberships. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Easy. You're an idiot. No explanation needed. Oh, there you go. Hey, you know what? Again, some people are going to be with it. Some people won't. I understand. Dakota, why would Minnesota let Sam go after this? That's my point. My initial thought was, this is what I thought was going to happen in the beginning of the year. This is why probably I didn't do the JJ McCarthy video till now. Sam was playing well, but what the Vikings were going to do is like let him go or tag and trade him or something. Because, again, they obviously believed in JJ McCarthy. They made him a top 10 pick. They traded up for him. They gave up assets with the Jets to take him with the 10th overall pick. But Sam Darnold has played too well, man. He's played too well. He's had 5 touchdown games. I mean, this dude, let's read the numbers for goodness sake of Sam gosh darn Darnold, man. These numbers are friggin' crazy. This season, 32 touchdowns, 11 picks, 3,776 passing yards, and a 67% completion percentage. I mean, he'd be annihilating the Jets record books if he was still a member of the Jets, which of course he's not. 32 freaking touchdowns? Good Lord. This has just been the perfect combo between Kevin O'Connell, another former Jets quarterback, and Sam Darnold. It's been amazing. The Vikings would be bonkers to let this go, but then if you're JJ McCarthy, you're like, the heck? And then you have some awkwardness there. Like, JJ isn't going to just sit on the sideline and be Sam Darnold's long-term backup without getting his whack at the pinata. That's why I'm saying I think the Vikings go, well, we got to keep Sam now, and then JJ becomes available. Yeah. Wow, Wave is not a fan. Why are we giving up that much for a quarterback that has had a serious injury and a setback? Well, I'm open to counter offers. You know, again, I normally, when I'm in a trade with somebody like fantasy football, I don't start my best pitch. You know, we kind of work to it. I might start here, and you start here, and then we work our way here. You know, sometimes if you want to speed up the process, you just go for the jugular. Hey, here's a good offer. Like, let's bang this out. But, you know, what are we doing? Easy says, your trade package sounds reasonable. Being the fact that McCarthy's injured, we're taking more of a risk. That's part of the equation. If he wasn't hurt, then maybe we're having a different conversation about him being a top 10 pick and things of that nature. Shadowrun, would this be the axe for Jordan Travis? Probably, because you're not keeping 4 quarterbacks on the roster, but who knows? I mean, again, I'm open to interpretation. Maybe Jordan Travis looks good. JJ looks good. Aaron looks good, obviously. And they're like, you know what? Maybe we trade Tyrod Taylor. Backup quarterbacks are incredibly valuable. You could trade a Tyrod Taylor before final 53-man cuts. Somebody would give you a nice package, and then you got Aaron Rodgers and the 2 young kids in the room. Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Travis, JJ McCarthy. Okay, I've got no problem with that. So keep the options open. I think you're going to keep them on the 90-man roster likely heading into camp where you got, in theory, Aaron, Tyrod, JJ, and Jordan. And then let them play it out and see what happens. Dakota, if Minnesota wins the Super Bowl, will they consider keeping Sam? I think if they don't win the Super Bowl, they will consider picking Sam or keeping Sam, excuse me. So, yeah. JJ had a torn meniscus. Right knee, as Alan says here in the comment section. There's a meniscus. Which, by the way, as someone who blew out his knee, my ACL is the thing that blew, and I had some meniscus damage too. To get only the meniscus but none of the other ligaments is not bad. And he did have a setback. He did have a setback with the knee. I don't think they were specific in the nature of that injury, but yes. Yeah, and then you have Daniel Jones, in theory, to be potentially, because he's going to be a free agent too. Maybe he's the long-term option, or not long-term, but like the backup QB2. He rises up. You get Sam, you get Daniel, and then you move on from JJ. That'd be great for, the Jets. Wow, Wave. Bro, just draft our own. Why are we taking on JJ's contract year 2 and have our cap messed up already? Makes no sense. I'll explain why. So just draft your own. Who are you drafting with the 8th overall pick? Well, I'll give you a spoiler alert. Right now, there doesn't appear to be anyone unless you're making a huge reach. And then if you're saying, well, just draft a 2nd or 3rd round guy, well, there have been plenty of 2nd or 3rd round flops. That You know, who knows? Maybe that can be your Jalen Hurts, but maybe it's Kellen Clemens, you know? And taking on JJ's contract, you're making it sound like it's some abnormal contract. First round contracts are paid a lot in front by the team. So the Jets would be getting him on a discount, contractually speaking. He'd be relatively cheap. And our cap messed up. Our cap isn't as messed up as you seem to be indicating, Wild Wave. Jets have what, 30-something million and more moves to make? I think the Jets are going to be just fine, contractually speaking. And taking on, quote-unquote, JJ McCarthy's contract, you still have year 2, year 3, year 4, and the 5th-year option if you look good. So you would have 4 years of cheap control over your quarterback. I don't know how that messes it up. I don't think so. But like I said, I'm open to interpretation. If people don't agree, that's great. Jimmy Jets is throwing Travis to Minnesota to get back at 5th. Yeah, hey, if we could get return value, okay, we could get more into it. Alan says, read 2 packages in mini blogs. Jets trade 1 to mini for McCarthy and mini 1. It's okay, the first round swap, okay. Jets trade Sauce for McCarthy and mini 1. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's not good enough value for Sauce Gardner. Heck no. Absolutely not. New, thank you on the Sauce Gardner trade. Wild Wave. I'd rather sign Justin Fields, clean our cap, and then draft our quarterback in 2026. And Wild Wave, here's what I'll say to you. Not too shabby. I like that plan. Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson likes Justin Fields, former Ohio State guys. That would be good. You clean the cap because Justin Fields is going to cost, what, 5, 10, 15 million maybe? Somewhere in there. I don't know how much he's going to cost. And then you punt on quarterback to 2026 and then allow Jordan Travis to develop or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, Wild Wave, I like your plan. I just want to say I'm open to interpretation on multiple plans. That one, Wild Wave, you put that on the table like, damn it, I'm in. Like, that's a good one. I like that. That's a really nice one. It's a good plan. I like that plan. It's not bad at all. Wild Wave, exactly. Sauce is worth at least 2 1s, and then some. I ain't doing that. And I know no one's going to pay that coming off of this year. That's fine. Then don't call. Because if I was going to trade Sauce, it'd be 2 1s, and I'd be asking for all kinds of ridiculous things. And it happens all the time in the NFL where teams ask for ridiculous things. Do you know why they do that? Because they know the other team won't accept. They're like, yeah, okay, kick rocks. Yeah. How much is Olu Fashanu? Yeah, 5 first-round picks. Oh, you don't want to give him up? Okay, I guess he's not available. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm keeping Sauce. I'm keeping Sauce. That's for sure. All right, Phil says send the trade proposal over to Woody. Will do. We'll see how he thinks about it. Easy says cut Lazard. You don't got to convince me. See ya. See ya. Lazard, don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you, pal. God bless. See ya. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh was part of the staff for Michigan. Yes, last year. I don't know off the top of my head who his OC and quarterback coach was, because I'm sure a lot of it changed when Harbaugh came in, and they had the switch. Good morning, Coffee Club. We have Reese in here. Love it. He likes the Drew Aller idea. Aller went back to school, so that'd have to be a 2026 option. Benny Bronx. The JJ McCarthy trade sounds good, but it's hard to see because of the long history of stupidness from this organization. I can only pray it changes going forward. Oh, okay. Well, that's another one. All right, let's do this, everybody. It's a Christmas Eve. I hope you guys are enjoying this. And again, let's open up the phone lines. You can tell me to my face how stupid this trade is, or if you're for it. JJ McCarthy, Jets-Vikings trade. Let's speak it into existence. I think it makes sense. But I'm open to other ideas, too. If you got a better quarterback plan, lay it on me, baby. Phone lines are open next, right here on Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T S, Jets.
Let's go, baby. Hep, appreciate us. As always, getting our callers fired up, baby. We got a couple hundred people in the room. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Christmas Eve. I love this Jets community. We're on Christmas Eve at 8 in the morning, and we got a couple hundred people in here talking New York Jets football. It's a beautiful thing, baby. It's beautiful. Like the video. Hit subscribe. If you'd like to go the extra step, feel free to do so. Jimmy Jets gifted 20 freaking memberships, for Pete's sake. I'm still flabbergasted by the generosity from the Jets fan base. And shout out to our number one Austrian Jet fan as well, gifting another membership. Again, every membership gifted gets you a raffle ticket into our contest for massive giveaways. We want to give back to the fans. You guys have made this so special for me, doing the show for doing a Jet show for a long time, over 10 years, and then doing this video show for the last 4 or 5 years. It's awesome. So we want to give back to you. So keep them coming, baby. We love it. Amid Heyoka says, hey, buddy, it's 5 a.m. over here. I love it. I love the energy. I love it. Jets. Jets. Let's go. We can do this. Wildwave says we need a top 7 pick. We could definitely get top 7. By the way, a quick little peek ski, and then we'll really. I see we have people waiting. We'll get to you guys in just a second here on the phone lines. The Jets currently have the 8th overall pick. Now, the strength of schedule is very tight with Carolina, so that could easily flip over the final 2 weeks, which could take you to 7. Jacksonville and Tennessee plays this week. You're probably rooting for Tennessee to win, because if Tennessee wins, the Jets' strength of schedule tiebreaker would beat Tennessee. So Tennessee currently picks 4th, but if they won, they would drop to, let me make sure I get this math right, they would drop to the Jet spot. So the Jets could flip with Carolina based on how the 2 weeks go if the Jets don't win another game. So it could go from 8 to 7, and they could go from 7 to 6 with Tennessee jumping back as well. So there's all kinds of play here. The Jets could have like a, realistically, I could see like a top 6 pick. I could see that potentially happening with Carolina and Tennessee are the 2 teams to keep an eye out for tankathon-wise. If you're trying to move and groove, kind of squirrely your way up there, that could be possible. So keep an eye out for that from the tankathon perspective coming up. Just to give you that perspective. The Jets could end up with a top 7 pick here as well. And Austrian Jet fan says it's 2 p.m. over there. So we got people watching at 5 a.m. We got people watching at 2 p.m. We got people watching at 8 a.m. Good Lord. We're all over the world, baby. We're taking over. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Hep here on a Christmas Eve. Happy holidays, Hep.
You too. I'm just calling in to wish everyone a happy holidays and to let everyone know I appreciate them. And this next year coming up, this is going to be our year. And let's keep looking forward. And I love you guys, and just keep safe and embrace your family. Peace out.
I love it. Hep, thanks for the kind words, brother. Absolutely. Happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever the celebration is of choice, I hope you get to spend it with your loved ones, baby. So thank you for spreading some positive cheer for all to hear. Wink. There you go. Christmas. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines. We got our guy Easy here. Easy. What are we cooking up? What do we got?
I already ate it. I made French toast.
I heard you guys talk about it earlier. So French toast and what else?
Two pieces of ham. I put them in a frying pan. That's all. I know you don't like ham, but I made it I made it crispy, so it was pretty good.
I prefer crispy. So was the ham inside the French toast, or was it a separate part of the dish?
No, it was just I didn't make a. See, if I'm gonna make French toast and I have all the ingredients right, I'm gonna make 2 really nice pieces of French toast. Okay. I'll have each piece absorb an entire egg. Okay?
Oh wow!
I don't like to dilute it with milk. That's bullshit. So,
all right.
I scramble 2 eggs and I make 2 French toasts out of it. And then when I'm like doing high end, I'll take cream cheese, put it between a little sugar-free strawberry jam.
Oh, wow.
And then cover it, and then I'll put some powdered, little bit of powdered sugar. I know I shouldn't have sugar, but that's my little cheat right there.
There you go.
And a little bit of cinnamon on top, and bang, stuffed French toast.
Okay, that sounds beautiful. We'll have to get a Chef Kevin Gilbert analysis of that, but that sounds pretty damn good to me. Oh, wait, there you go. He's in here. So fastest food reviews. What kind of bread did he use? Easy.
Just
What do we got? Let me see this.
Cheap ass bread from Dollar.
There it is. Yeah, white bread. Yeah,
Dollar
what's
General.
that? Great value. Okay, there
it's
you go.
Good, and it was only $1.33.
Wow,
for a whole loaf.
For a full loaf. Okay.
Yeah, the Wonder Bread was $4. Why do that?
Yeah. Fuck brands. Yeah,
And
fuck
I'll
them,
tell you
man.
though, that's good. That's actually nice and fluffy. It's good stuff.
What that bread you used? You're saying?
The what was it? Family Dollar or Family Dollar? Yeah.
Okay. Well, Chef Kevin Gilbert has weighed in. He believes that is not French toast. There's a lot of people giving some side-eyed looks at the white bread usage. Yeah. There's
Okay,
not a
I
lot of them.
didn't use a friggin' baguette. All right, get
Yeah,
the hell
that's
out
what
of
they're
my
saying.
way.
Yeah. Let me see. The popular bread of choice I'm seeing is, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I might be pronouncing this improperly. Challah bread. Challah bread. What is this? Have you heard of this kind of bread? Oh, challah. Oh, challah bread.
Challah. Like you're choking. It's Jewish.
Yeah.
Challah bread. They make it. They make it for Sabbath.
Oh, challah bread.
You have it on Friday night. You cut it up, but I mean, come on. That's egg bread. That's bread baked with egg in it. It's got a lot of egg in the batter. It's just an eggy bread, But this is actually just 2 slices of bread. You soak it in. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know, but people seem to be very intrigued. He's saying it's challah. Challah. I thought it was like challah. I'm trying to get it pronounced.
That's Jewish bread. That's the one that looks like it's all woven and everything. You've seen it on TV,
Sure.
Any kind of ceremonies like that.
Yeah, but that's a big conversation in my house, is trying to determine where you can, for lack of a better word, cheap out. How can you get what you need, but it doesn't have to be like the name brand, or you could do it in a different way. So like French toast with different bread, or
certain stores have good stuff. Now, if you go to Aldi or Lidl, their store brand bread is not that good, but the Family Dollar store brand bread is delicious. It's good.
So here's a cheap thing I do. Sometimes for burgers, I don't even buy burger buns. I just have straight meat. I just cook the burger and I eat it with a fork. Yeah, that's true. I know. We're getting all over the place here, but
it is Christmas Eve, and we're just talking stuff.
Yeah,
I like your thing for JJ McCarthy.
Okay, welcome to the club.
I mean, I was a big Ken O'Brien fan, so I'm all about a good Irish boy as our quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
He should be half as good as Ken O'Brien was. Ken O'Brien, man.
Hey, that's great.
Everyone was bitching about not getting Marino, but I will
In
tell
83,
you honestly, if Marino would have been on that team, as porous as that offensive line, he would have been crushed, because Kenny O'Brien was tough as nails.
So you push back on the people that say if the Jets would have had Marino, they would have won a Super Bowl.
They were basically 500 against each other.
All right.
I mean, they were epic. You go back and you watch some replays of some of the
Wesley
Jets
Walker,
Dolphins
4
games
touchdowns. There were some cool shootouts. Yeah, man.
What's in the Jumbo Elliott tackle eligible for the touchdown to win the game? I mean,
Monday Miracle.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Jets and that some of those were some of the most fun games, because it actually kind of was. You didn't know who was going to win. That's what made it such a good rivalry, because both the Dolphins and the Jets, even depending upon which team was good that year, when they played each other, it was a war. So it was fun to watch. I mean, 51-48 games. I mean, no, great, man. It was the most fun I ever had watching Jets football offense, because O'Brien could sling the rock.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it, and I really enjoyed him. Yeah.
ABC used to have this TV show on called The Superstars. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that, but they would have it on Saturdays on ABC. It was kind of like either right after Wide World or Sports, or just before it. And they would have all these quarterbacks compete in these competitions. And O'Brien won it like 2 years in a row.
Well, I'm not surprised. I love Kenny.
Marino won it a couple of times too. I mean, he was like, they would have a target going across the field. There were like 3 targets: short, intermediate, and long. And Marino, he was great too. I mean, he'd freaking throw it right in the center of the target, 45 yards downfield. It was amazing.
I miss those. And by the way, Marino did not play in the Monday Night Miracle. There was Jay Fielder for the Dolphins back in those days. So, that was at the tail end of retirement days for old Marino. But yes,
but there were
cool.
Epic wars.
Of course.
Between Marino and O'Brien. And but O'Brien was a tough kid. I mean, Marino was not that big of a guy. But he
one
was tough
very
too.
young. Yeah.
But he would have been buried if he was on the Jets. Because he's on the Jets, they would have ruined his ass. Come on.
Yeah, that's what they say. Damaro is 6'4", 224 pounds. He looks like he's a big boy.
But he didn't look big.
Oh,
It was
okay.
weird. He just didn't look big. It doesn't matter. What the hell do I know? I was
don't
fucking
know.
high half the time in the 80s anyway. So
hey, there you go. Good decade. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
someone said one time, "Hey man, you up for the game?" I'd been up all week, man.
Yeah.
I stole that from George Carlin.
Yeah, I love that.
George Carlin goes, "Remember when being up for the game used to be a spiritual thing? Hey man, you up for the game?
Yeah.
Been up all week, man."
So what's on the Christmas Eve traditions? Is there a certain movie or food or something you watch or eat or what?
Well, I'm Jewish, so on Christmas we usually go to my mom's house and we eat Chinese food.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
most
didn't know.
Chinese people aren't Christian, so
right.
they're open. But tomorrow I'm going to my girlfriend's.
Nice. Okay.
So that's good. My son's up in New York at my daughter's house, his sister.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a big split in the family for a long period of time because of my ex-wife.
Oh God.
Yeah. So and now the kids, my daughter has found out my ex-wife was lying about all the stories that she was telling about me. You know how some wives can character assassinate their husbands and stuff.
Sure, we've all been there. Yeah.
So my daughter she hasn't talked to me for 25 years.
Oh wow.
And
Jesus.
now, so she just started talking to my niece because she had a little baby girl 4 months ago, and my daughter Kara has a 19-month-old, my grandson. So my son went up to my niece's house first in Jersey, and then he drove from there out to Long Island to West Islip to visit his sister. And now the family is starting to come back together again, and I feel so blessed. And I got my girlfriend back, and now I'm just scared because I don't want the shoe to drop.
Yeah, right. Hey, man, just
because life works in cycles, so I'm trying to keep it as on a very
positive.
even keel. I'm positive, but I'm keeping it on an even keel. And I mean, this is a good thing because not only did my daughter, my ex-wife, alienate me, but she also alienated my son from his brother and sister too.
Wow,
and
that's awful.
Because my son, was in my camp. So of course he became demon number two.
Turf wars, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But everything's on the good now, and I'm happy, and I feel blessed about it. And I hope that your family never, ever, 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 ever has to experience a fraction of what I went through. But I'm still here. I'm still strong. God is good. God is great. He gives me food in the morning.
Yes.
Gave me diabetes. I'm not thrilled with him over that, but nobody's perfect.
Yeah, you just got to get the cards you're dealt, and some are good, some are bad.
It's to everyone out there. Everyone has problems. Some people are lonely this time of year. Just remember, it's not the cards you're dealt; it's how you deal with the cards you're dealt, and that's what's kept me positive all these years. I always knew that the reconciliation would come, and it's starting now.
I love it. I love that.
Now it may take a while I'm just saying it may take a while for my daughter to understand and process all the stuff now that she's found out the truth, because it's kind of a you think that someone's doing all these things your whole life. It's kind of a mind fuck when you find out that what you based your last 25 years on was a lie.
Yeah.
So
it'll take some time, but we're all rooting for you, Easy. I appreciate you calling in. Enjoy your holidays, both today, tomorrow, and the rest of the week. It's going to be a good time, pal. We appreciate you.
I love you guys, everybody in the Jets community. Have bless your mom and your dad and your sister and your kids and your fiance, and just have a great Christmas. And everybody out there, have a great Christmas, a happy New Year. And we'll talk. Are you on tomorrow or?
Hell yeah, I am. We don't take any days off around here, so yeah, we'll see you guys for Christmas.
Daily.
Yep.
Daily.
Literally. Yeah. Not
unless
sometimes
unless
daily.
The heat goes out.
Well, I guess that's true. Right. Yeah. Internet goes out or heat. I guess that changed the equation. But outside of those situations, yeah, we're on, baby. So yeah, we'll see everybody tomorrow morning.
All right. Take care, boys.
There he is. Easy. Here's my question. I wonder if Easy's wearing that headset around the Christmas dinner table. Like he's still wearing that. He's doing this. Yeah, can you pass the mashed potatoes? I wonder if that's happening. It's a question in my head. Not sure if I want to know the answer. Maybe let my mind wander. I'm not sure. But either way, a lot to unpack there on that call. That's for sure. Like the video, hit subscribe, people. Keep spreading the gospel of Boy Green Daily. Let's go to our next caller here. We got the Jets Afterburners podcast. And I will tell you, my friend, that yesterday, as I was hitting, see everybody, I'm like, wait, is that Jets Afterburners podcast just calling in? And it was boop, boop. And so we just missed it. So I'm glad we got you today.
Absolutely, man. Again, I appreciate your hard work. Dude, like no one has higher work ethic than you, man. Every single morning. Love your content, dude.
And look at that. We got the Ken O'Brien jersey back there. I appreciate the kind words there. Look at that. Kenny O, baby.
Absolutely. So let me jump right into it. After the game on Sunday, had this epiphany. I tweeted it out. And lo and behold, you're doing a show on it, which I love. The JJ McCarthy
possibility. I love it. Nice.
Is a possibility. Like it's extremely likely. Let me break it down here.
Sure.
You know how hard it is for a franchise to find their quarterback? How hard is it, boy?
I mean, look at the Jets. I mean,
we've been waiting for beyond 50 plus years. And you're telling me that the Minnesota Vikings, they finally have a quarterback fully developed. See, the problem with the New York Jets is we draft quarterbacks high, young, raw, and we throw them to the wolves. Big problem. We don't develop them. We don't let them sit down. It was only one quarterback I remember in recent time that we did it the right way, and that was Chad Pennington.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He learned under Vinny. He learned what was it to be studious, to
be a pro.
Yeah, break down film. When it was his chance against Kansas City, that first game, he was like a pro right there.
Yeah.
Let's break it down. Minnesota Vikings. No way are they letting Sam Darnold go. That is their franchise quarterback. Yeah. That's their franchise. So. They're going to pay him buku bucks.
Yeah, and he's 27. He's still young.
27, Paul. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. The guy has like probably another 10 more years.
Probably. Yeah.
And he's playing smart football. He's not a game manager, right? He's not.
No, he's letting it go. Yeah.
Holy smokes. Perfect scenario. Now, enter JJ McCarthy. And when I tweeted it out, I had a lot of pushback. Oh, he sucks. He's this.
What?
He's injured. I'm like, hold on a second. Let's look at the injury. It's a meniscus. That's all it is, folks.
Yeah.
And it is the part of the body that you either excise it, meaning you chop it out, or you suture it and you maintain the integrity, but it takes 1 full year of recovery. That's him. No ACL tear, not a Joe Burrow injury at all.
Yeah.
Dude, let's look at San Francisco. Let these teams do it the right way. That's why I think the Vikings are going to let this guy go. The San Francisco 49ers had to choose between a 4th overall draft pick and Mr. Irrelevant. Who do they go for? They said, F this.
Yeah. They were not Trey Lance. They were Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes, exactly. Now let's keep going back. Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees.
Yeah. Oh, good times. Yeah.
Tell me if the Chargers chose right. And the only where I'm tipping the balance is a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, right. So then they made the wrong choice if we're basing off Super Bowls with old Drew Brees.
Because that's what it's all boils down for. We had 3 AFC championship games in the span of 25 years.
Yep.
What does that give us in the Super Bowl trophy in that glass case? Nothing.
No.
Go for JJ McCarthy. And obviously it all depends on the coach, right? Who's your top guy that will make this work?
I'm really intrigued by Ben Johnson. And I will see where he goes. I heard Aaron talking him up yesterday on the Pat McAfee show. That had me intrigued of like, wow, okay. It tickles Aaron's fancy. He's a guy that it seems to be hard to impress with all of his worldliness and seeing offense. So the fact that he's like flabbergasted on the sideline as he watched the stumble play, to me, intrigues me. Rich Cimini named Ben Johnson one of the top 3 candidates that are in the mix for the Jets. So you line all that stuff up. An offensive guy, we've only had one offensive guy under Woody Johnson. That's Adam Gase, who was awful, but we've only tried it once. Right. To pair Ben and then get JJ and have Aaron, like all of it is just spicy to me. He doesn't have to be the only one, but that's one off the top of the dome.
You know, segueing off the Woody's nature has always been to start rookie or young quarterbacks. all the time, right? We had it with Mark Sanchez, Darnold, Wilson, Geno Smith. Now you trade for JJ. It's going to go against Woody Johnson's nature because if you got to bring back Aaron Rodgers,
of course, that's a prerequisite. Yeah,
you have to follow the blueprint of the Kansas City Chiefs. I would go with Dorsey as a GM. Get him here.
Love John, sure. Yeah.
And if you want to get Ben Johnson or Vrabel, whatever the case is, there has to be a plan for the future. They can't be an all-in year for 2025. There has to be something there, and that's where I think JJ McCarthy. I'm telling you. Would you give up a first-round pick for him knowing that he was going to learn behind Aaron Rodgers and he's also a first-round pick? Me personally, absolutely.
Wow.
The Green Bay Packers did it for a second-rounder in Brett Favre. They gave up a first. You think anyone's talking about giving up the first-rounder out in Wisconsin back in 92? No, we won't either.
Yeah, that would be a little rich for me to give up a better draft pick than what he got drafted with and he got hurt. So like an 8th overall pick would be rich. Again, if they had a second round pick, we could get a little bit more froggy on value and start messing around with some stuff. The fact that they don't have a second rounder complicates it. So again, my offer or pitch was a first round pick swap where we get their third rounder for JJ McCarthy. They jump into the top 10. We still stay in the first round, and then we pick up an extra pick on top of that because the Jets are more than one piece away, as we've talked about before. So, that would be my pitch. A lot of people push back on that. They think my price is too aggressive, so your price is even higher than that. So
I think yours makes a lot of sense. I just look at it at the core value of our quarterbacks coming out of this draft. I look at all of them, and there's a lot of question marks. Yes, Shedeur Sanders I like him. Okay. There is a lot of baggage there. If people thought Tebow mania was insanity, imagine having Shedeur Sanders here in New York, backed up every single tweet out there by Dion. I'm telling you, one person that would love that, it would be Woody Johnson. And I don't like what Woody likes. I don't like it at all.
Which I don't blame you at all for. That's that's fair. I don't blame you at all for that one. But okay, so another JJ McCarthy advocate. I love to see it in the universe. We need more of us out there. And let's see. I think that is the ideal long-term QB plan for the green and white.
Absolutely, boy. Let me tell you, man. Have a great Christmas. Enjoy the New Year's. If I don't get to talk to you, keep up the amazing, great hard work. Keep slaying it. And if you guys in the chat haven't known and done it yet, hit the subscribe button. All right. Dude, we got to collaborate without a doubt one of these days.
100% we do. And secondly, I see it's on your second banner there. So give a free plug for the Jets Afterburners podcast. Where can people hit it up and how often can they hit it up?
Absolutely. We're on every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Callers are welcome. We have a lot of wild guests, anywhere from Craig Carton to, Connor Hughes. And it just, the other day, what was it, 2 months ago, we had Gary V. Nice. We had him the morning after the Jets lost to the Bills, and he was not a happy guy.
I would imagine not.
Not jovial, not a lot of instrumental values out there, but it was fun, man. He was a great guy. So, dude, thank you so much for the plug, man. And Merry Christmas.
That's right. Happy holidays, man. Go Jets, baby. I love it. So, guys, check out the Jets Afterburners podcast, baby. Sounds like a future collab is happening there, baby. Let's go. Let's get a quick YouTube super chat, then we'll jump back over to the phone lines. Julio Guzman. He brings in a YouTube super chat. Every time I get a super chat, Zariah Luna. Wow. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. We'll also put that down for the raffle contest. I appreciate that. We will have 2 quarterbacks on our roster coming back from season-ending injuries. I say no. That is true. Jordan Travis, sort of season-ending. I mean, that was predating the Jets, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's fair. If you don't want the injury, like I said, I knew the injury jokes would come. It is what it is, but, hopefully, we can look past that and try to get healthy. Maybe that would help. I don't know. But I love JJ, man. He is incredibly intriguing. He's injured, which, again, I get that rubs some people the wrong way, but think about the possibilities. Happy Christmas Eve continues here on the show. And again, this guy, let me pull up the schedule. Okay, got the schedule right here. This person that I'm about to bring on the show is joining us on the show tomorrow, Thursday, Saturday. You just can't get enough of this guy. This guy's going to be joining us 3 times as a guest here on Boy Green Daily. Without further ado, let's bring in my father, Esden Zone, Paul Esden, here on the program. Father, good to see you.
Good morning, Boy Green. Hey now.
Hey, by the way, would you like to crown me? Let the people know that 2 Esdens walked into the fantasy football octagon and only one came out with the glory and is heading to the fantasy championship game to lock in football immortality?
No, but it is interesting that when I went to sign in, you have that little like discussion point, and I just like to say, what does it say?
What, fantasy champion? You know,
No,
think of
it
that.
says
Mason?
moron. You realize that
under
I
your
haven't
name.
changed that in quite a while. But
Yeah.
Anyways,
Sure.
You are a moron. So
Okay.
what you described makes negative sense.
Negative
Like it
sense.
literally
Wow. Okay.
is if I could cue up the quote from I've lost the name of the movie, but the game show Billy Madison. If I could cue up the quote at the end of the trivia.
That is the smartest thing I've
stupider.
ever heard. We are all better for having heard it. That
No,
one?
we're all stupider for having heard it.
Oh, wow.
So
not a JJ McCarthy fan. Okay.
It's not that. No. It's not. It's your proposal, which is insane.
All right, give me a counter. What is the proper value then, good sir?
Yeah. So my thought is the Jets should trade for a Minnesota Vikings quarterback that's 27 years old. That's not named Sam Darnold.
So JJ McCarthy.
How old? He's 27, moron? No.
Well, who is the other 27-year-old Vikings quarterback?
Who is the other 27-year-old Viking quarterback?
No
Come
idea.
On, take your time. There's not that many players on the roster.
Well, you can't trade for him. He's a free agent.
Yes, let's go after Daniel Jones.
Oh, Dad, please stop.
No. See, that's the problem. The problem with you is you don't see the value. The
value?
He's a 27-year-old.
Oh, God.
He's thrown for 14,000 yards in his career. He's ran for 3,000 yards in his career, and he was on the Giants. That's the real problem with Daniel Jones. It's not the Giants, and we would be able to get him on a discount double-check deal, and then he could prove himself. I'm telling you, he is the quarterback to go for. So write that down. His rating is, the reason he failed is not, right? If Daniel Jones is on that team, right, and they let him go. So anyways, I'll tell you why your idea is moronic.
Do tell. Yeah, okay.
Why would the Vikings do that? Let's just start off with,
okay.
We're not even going to go to your deal yet. We'll get to your deal in a minute. Okay?
Yeah.
But there's zero reason for the Vikings to do it, right? Obviously, Daniel Jones is a emergency break glass if needed, right?
Okay.
Quarterback that it was easy for them to scoop up. But I agree they're going to keep Sam Darnold. But we all know sometimes there's drop-offs in performance, and it costs them almost nothing to keep JJ. It costs them nothing. Why? And so that's why I don't think they're trading him to anybody, no matter what the value is. So let's start with that.
Okay,
and then
I'd like a quick counter before we go. Yeah, so let's layer this out. So your process makes sense in theory. JJ McCarthy is dirt cheap. He's dirt cheap / they've already paid him the money. So like they're elbow in, they're pot committed, so to speak. That's how rookie contracts work for people that go in the first round. Like the teams that draft them are like, they're invested financially. And when teams move on, cough the Giants, although they did it after Daniel Jones' rookie contract, then the next team gets him on a massive discount. So yes, JJ would be cheap to the Vikings. In a Madden video game where you don't have to deal with any personalities, that makes sense. I imagine JJ isn't going to be too enthralled if the Vikings do this. If they just franchise tag Sam, that's one thing. Because you franchise tag him, You play out the year, and then JJ gets healthy, and then you can just kick the can down the road. If they do that, that perfectly makes sense for the Vikings. However, they give Sam Darnold the long-term crazy deal. Whatever it is, there's been talk. It could be 150, 200 billion, something wild, whatever he gets. At that point, JJ's not going to be like, oh, yippee, that sounds great. He could be an unhappy camper, which causes the issues of the potential trade. Again, to your point, if they tag him, then I have nothing to say. The Vikings should tag him, keep both, and then that's their best option moving forward. And you don't have to pot commit yourself to Sam Darnold, say, was this just a one-year thing? Was this just a Kevin O'Connell thing? What was this? That would allow them to dip their toe a little bit further. Now, franchise tags at the quarterback position are quite expensive. That could be cost prohibitive with the rest of the things that they're doing, so I'd have to check out their cap fully to see it. But if they give a long-term deal, I think that could upset the apple cart where clearly McCarthy can't be the long-term guy if Sam Darnold's there long-term for crazy money, because that's the whole reason to have the rookie in the first place is the cheap control. So I think that's where ultimately a trade could lead.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they go with the franchise tag route. I think
okay,
that would be my plan.
All right.
Right. And then you see, because then you need what you need. You don't want to make a rash decision. As the last caller, I don't know what his moniker was, but how hard it is to find a quarterback. And obviously you thought JJ had something when you drafted him. And obviously everyone else in the league was not a moron not getting Sam Darnold before this. So you franchise tag him. Now you show me next year too. And now JJ gets healthier. And then I can make a decision. In my opinion, there's no reason for them to make a decision now because you're betting when you don't have to bet, right? You know what I'm saying? You're taking a risk that you don't have to make. So, but anyways, I would then segue to your offer. Oh, let me go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull up cap space for 2025. So let's see where so the Vikings should have plenty of money. They currently have $76 million in projected cap space. That's before any moves, so franchise tag should not be cost prohibitive. We did get a super chat in here, and it was a Uno reverse card happening here. Wow. Julio Guzman said, wanting Daniel Jones makes you the moron, Pop. And by the way, you now have 2 raffle tickets, Julio, with your 2 super chats today. So you got 2 total raffle tickets. Thank you so much for your contributions.
Shouldn't the super chats be at least the minimum value of a Boy Green Coffee Club to get a raffle ticket?
They are. He did a $4.99 super chat and then a $1.99 super chat. And when you do the math, that ends up being 2 Boy Green Coffee Club.
I would do the math if I knew the first part. But anyway,
whoa, getting a little aggressive there.
So let's get back to Julio.
Okay. Oh, okay. So Julio, let's park it.
He's not going to interrupt my flow here.
Ooh, righty.
So let's just go. So I think they're definitely going to keep both. It would be stupid for them not to keep both. It would have to be the deal of the century, which yours is clearly not. Yours is makes 0 sense.
Do tell. Okay.
Makes, as I said before, negative sense.
Okay.
So they're going to draft late unless they had somebody in mind, right? There's no reason for them to move up. And let alone that, they're giving up an asset that they don't know the value. And then you're telling them they're going to give up another one. So you're not if you stop at they're going to swap picks and they get JJ, right? Maybe. But do you want them to give the Jets another pick on top of that?
They're going from the end of the first round to the top 10 of the draft. If you look at history, go to any number of people that have made the historic leap ups from that far out to go inside the top 10. One off the top of my head, because Thomas Dimitroff just interviewed with the New York Jets for their GM position. When he was with the Falcons, he traded up with the Cleveland Browns from 27 to 5 in his draft, and he had to give up a king's ransom of picks to move up that high. I'm simply saying you're going from 30 to 8, you give up a third rounder, and your injured first round quarterback. Seems like a pretty good deal to me.
No, it doesn't. The reason those people gave that up is because they wanted something. The Vikings don't want anything.
How do we know
you
that?
are going to them. Hey, by the way, I'd like you to give us the bank for what we want. How would that be? And by the way, could you give me extra $5 so I could pick up some popcorn on the way home? They're not charging for it. You're the one going to them looking for something. They are not coming to you. There's no way you get that third rounder. 0.
Wow. So it's funny.
0.0. Because you're effectively getting 2 first-round draft picks for the price of 1.
Well, I mean, if you want to perceive it in that way, sure. But
That's
it's
reality. That's your problem. You don't perceive reality. Was JJ McCarthy a first-round draft pick?
He was.
Yes. Yes, he was. And now you want to get another one from them. So 2 for 1. That's math.
Okay. In the future, I'm going to say, hey, I'll give you guys a couple of Darren Lees, a couple of D. Milners, former Jets first-round picks. They were at one point first-round picks, so the value is different.
Vernon Golston.
But there you go. We started off the show where I gave this pitch, and there were Jet fans who said, I don't want that trade. That trade sucks. Paul, we're paying too much, is what people were saying at the beginning of the show. And now I'm being told that, Paul, you're crazy. You're not giving up enough. What?
Again, I think it's unnecessary. I think it is a gamble that's not worth taking. But if I'm the Vikings, I'm not taking it. Right? If I'm the Vikings, and today, right, because they signed, right, they drafted who they drafted, they signed Sam Darnold, they know what they had, they made those decisions. If you asked them, you hook them up to the lie detector test, and they said we're exactly where we want to be, and why wouldn't you? Because if you still believe, and I agree with you, I have a torn meniscus right now, and it's not that big a thing to overcome. So for them, there'd be zero reason to give them up. And especially, it would have to be so overwhelming. And to go to whatever, let's say 8th from 30th, they'd have to know they were getting something. That's why people trip. I know that guy's available, right? Even Mike Ditka, right? I'm going to give you my entire draft so I get Ricky Williams so he can smoke dope and get kicked out of my team. But anyways.
I believe that happened in Miami, right? Didn't
I think it was both. It was both.
Okay. Well, probably.
Or I'm going to wear a visor so you can't see my face during an interview, my helmet. But anyways, I just think it's no across the board for the Vikings. I think you're right. The creativity of the concept is good, but I just don't see it happening. And now we can go to
before we go to Julio's comment, I just want to make sure I confirm. So this offer's on the table. You're unbiased third party. You have no affiliation anywhere here. You're just evaluating it. You're saying if this offer's on the table, the Vikings say no. Do you think the Jets say yes? This offer's on the table by either party. It doesn't matter. The offer, they come into the room. Whoa, what's this? There's an offer written on a piece of paper here of what could happen. You're saying the Vikings would say no to this offer, which, again, for people who are just joining us, we've got a couple hundred people in the room. We appreciate you. Where the Jets would swap first-round picks. They currently pick 8th. The Vikings pick 30th. And the Jets also get a third-round pick, which is 97th. That's the end of the third round. And JJ McCarthy is coming on over for the deal. You say the Vikings say no to that. What do the Jets say no to that if they saw that offer on a table?
Yeah, so I don't know. But I know that the Jets could give you the answer immediately. And the reason I say I don't know, I apologize. I don't know. The Jets had JJ McCarthy on their quarterback board. They had him there. Yeah. And they had their top 10 talent on the board, right? And they probably haven't erased those boards yet. They probably left that draft room, like all the stuff's still there, a couple coffee cups, nobody's cleaned up yet. And so all I would have to do is go in that room and say, where do we have this guy?
They had their chance at him, right? They picked 10th.
Right. And when did he go?
He went 11th. Let me rephrase that. The Jets were picking at 10th. They traded with the Vikings. They swapped from 10 to 11. Vikings moved up one spot because they were fearful that he wouldn't last. So they had him to take, and they didn't.
Right. But that's different. So that's not because you can't use that analogy. You need to know what their original analysis of him was. They passed on him because that was never what they needed. Right. That's why they passed on him. So where did he rank on the availability of quarterbacks last year? That's like, we don't know. Like, where did they have him ranked out? Right. Did they have him that he would have been, top 10 pick? Right. So that's what I don't know.
And does that matter anymore? Because the new regime's going to come in. And what was their pre-draft evaluation of JJ?
Right. And that's fair. Well, but let's say that, if you had him there and then you could get the full medical report, well, they always have to pass a physical. So you could have them do, Let's see the MRIs. Let's see the rehab. Let's see the results of the rehab, which they're tracking. Let's see your progression. We know I had a setback. So I'd have to analyze all that data. But I would say if I was the Jets, pending those things, pending the evaluation, the medical review by our team, not just go see a doctor. I want your information, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna make this trade. Okay, show me the money, right? Show me how his tracking of his rehab, et cetera, et cetera. If I was the Jets, I would take that deal every day.
Interesting.
I'd still get the first. You still get the first round, and if they were going to give you a third round, I would say yes, right? Because again, the thing we don't know, it's easy as we're sitting here. I'm drinking Dunkin' coffee, and it's not our jobs on the line, but if I would weigh out every possible, I would have a team of people right now. Like, what would it take to get every quarterback that could be available or even conceptually tradable, like Aaron Rodgers is not available?
Sure.
And who are we going to go after? What are we willing to give up? It would not be we wouldn't spend all the time on this. It'd be a room full with boards on quarterback evaluation. But this is one that is potential that I would do. So,
okay. Now let's get to Julio, who you wanted to get to. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so this is an example of Daniel Jones is a better product than the Jets give him credit for. And I'll give you an example, right? He is the Zach Wilson. He is the Sam Darnold. He is, pick whoever you want, a phrase you want to use. He's the Geno Smith of the New York Giants. They brought a guy in. They didn't develop him. They didn't build the base around him. They traded away their running back, and then they wondered why he faltered, right? And you look at his stats, his stats are not terrible. His stats are better than any quarterback in the Jets of recent history.
I don't think that should be the bar, though.
No. I'm not saying it's the bar. I'm saying we get a chance to be on the other end of the stick. We get the chance to be the Seattle Seahawks. We get a chance to be the Minnesota Vikings, right, on the other side of it, right, where we get, and he would be cheap, right? You want to gamble with something? He would be cheap. And you know what? If he doesn't work out, he was cheap. Who cares, right? But the fact is he has been able to, right? His career completion percentage is north of 64%, right? He has more touchdowns than he has interceptions. And that was for a terrible Giants team, right? With nobody around him, right? And so to me, it's the caviar dreams on a food stamp budget, right? We have this vision. Well, we're only going to accept Patrick Mahomes or well, those people aren't going to come, right? Because the teams aren't going to let them go. This is an opportunity to get a diamond in the rough for cheap that can come in and play for multiple years and give the chance. This is the stopgap that I've been talking about. That's who Daniel Jones is. He could have come in 2 years ago. Obviously, he wasn't available 2 years ago. But he's the team you want, somebody that could bridge the gap while we're on the hunt for the quarterback. Daniel Jones is it. His stats are, and again, it's funny that Jets poo-poo people's stats for, yes, he's been a middling quarterback, right? But he is a run pass threat. I'll tell you that he's not that far out, right? The leading rusher of all time in the NFL for quarterback, I think we talked about a few months ago, is like 5,000 yards or something. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's in that neighborhood, 6,000 yards. Daniel Jones is 3,000 yards in 5 years. He's getting 600 yards a clip and right around 3,000 passing yards, and that's on a terrible Giants team. So, Julio, using that name, it's a boomerang, moron.
Okay. I would like to do some back and forth here, and we have a few other comments on other things that people want your takes on. We'll get to that. So it is true that Daniel Jones has more touchdowns than interceptions off that stat alone. The stat that I remember watching Daniel Jones and that have since confirmed statistically, do you know how many fumbles Daniel Jones has had in his career?
No.
50. 50. So he's had 47 picks. He's had 50 fumbles. He's had nearly 100 turnovers since coming into the league. And we're talking
So
about
look
a
at how
guy
are
that's
you
played
sure
6
that the
years.
number of 50 is fumbles or fumbles not recovered? Because
that's an irrelevant stat to me. I don't care if they randomly bounced into the arms they were recovered. Those are 50 fumbles, 50 opportunities.
They're not turnovers.
They laid the ball out there.
Then you were incorrect. You were incorrect because they're not. If they recovered by his team, it could have been recovered by him.
Come on. It's the stat. It's the perception stat of a possible turnover. I don't give a shit if an oblong-shaped football randomly bounced into the arms of him or one of his teammates, which will curtail that number to whatever it is. It's just on his strict Pro Football Reference stats. How many times has Daniel Jones fumbled in his career? That number is 50. 50 is a lot. He had fumbling issues a lot of the years throughout his career, and the coaches had to come in and try to fix it. And Brian Daboll was able to do that successfully in his first year. Now, the numbers weren't high. They were just restricted. He had, off the top of my head, he had 15 touchdowns, 5 picks in their playoff year, which was a whatever version of Daniel Jones you want to talk about, where he had really good rushing numbers. He was a controlled passer. He wasn't throwing it all over the barnyard. He was controlled, but that proved to be an outlier that he could never maintain again. But 50 fumbles, you got to factor that into the equation that he runs a lot. We're like, whoa, look at this dynamic runner, but he also fumbles a lot, which factors into when you get so many attempts and you're getting so many numbers from a rushing perspective, which gives you the upside of that. You have to balance a sandwich of the upside with all the fumbles that he's had in his career.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that is our past numbers.
What do you mean?
The high numbers. The number that gets him to 50 are his first 2 years.
I have it right here.
18 and 11.
Yeah, so yes, the fumbles through his first 2 seasons, he had 29 of his 50 fumbles through his first 2 seasons, but just because they happen early doesn't mean they didn't happen. And then he's had all the fumbles recently as well, so they all add up. That's all part of the resume. It's like when people say this about Trevor.
How many fumbles does Aaron Rodgers have in his career?
I don't know. He's played for 20 years, so I'm curious. How many?
About 100.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So
how many do you have this year?
So in 6 years,
how many have last game?
So in 6 years, and Daniel Jones didn't play all of this year, so that's important to note. He has half the amount of fumbles that Aaron Rodgers had in 20 years. I don't think that's a stat you think it is.
It is the stat. I'm saying that every player is different. By the way, Aaron has 5 this year. 5.
Geez. Okay. So 10% of Daniel Jones? So 10% of Daniel Jones' career?
The fact is Daniel Jones is coachable. He's had significantly less fumbles in the past few years than he had the first 2 years. They had to be trained. 4 fumbles a year is not that much. That's what he said the past 2 years. You're just picking something that you don't like. The bottom line is I think he could be a serviceable quarterback and he could be coached. That's the fact.
Okay. We'll have to agree to disagree on that. But how about this?
Which part of it? So take away the fumbles. Which part of it? Because you're skewing the numbers. Because
it's not skewing the numbers.
He hasn't had that many.
It's like when people say with Trevor Lawrence. I say Trevor Lawrence all the time has been overrated. And I said, I don't think he's the quarterback everyone says he is. And they're like, well, Paul, look at the stats. I'm like, yeah, the stats aren't great. Well, they're like, well, you have to take out the first year. He was coached by Urban Meyer, who was one of the worst coaches of all time. You don't just get to wipe away worst years of your career because of some made-up reason. That's not how it works. So these fumbles that happen all the time at the beginning of his career, you're saying like, well, he's been better. Well, okay, but it's forever on the resume. Turnover issues. And while the fumbles may have gone down, the interceptions, whoop, they went up outside of an outlier year that they went to the playoffs. All the interception numbers have been gross.
Yeah. So
let's get a follow-up here. There is someone else that's completely different quarterback. But speaking of quarterbacks, FL Phil 98, I have this one in here. What's Pop's take on Cooper Rush? Because I believe, if I haven't double-checked this myself, so I should have, but someone told me that he is set to be a free agent this offseason. Is that correct? Do you know that?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. No, I didn't know because I didn't double check whether I heard someone else bring it up on a previous episode. But FFL 98 is curious your opinion because a few people have brought him up as a potential bridge option for the Jets in 2025.
I think the Jets would be lucky if they could get him.
What's the analysis of Cooper Rush?
I think the Jets would be good to get him. I think because I will tell you that I was disappointed when he came out the first start for the Cowboys, but you realize that after the season starts, backup quarterbacks actually get no snaps for the most part, unless there's an injury. Very few snaps in practice, if at all. But I would tell you, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I'll look it up. But his win-loss percentage is impressive, right? He's had two, and I'll tell you that there are quarterbacks out there. I'm not going to remember. Is it Flynn? Is it Flynn? The guy
Matt
from
Flynn?
Green Bay
Matt
that replaced
Flynn.
Matt Flynn, right? He made a year. He made his whole career after replacing Aaron Rodgers for a few games, right? And he got a couple, 2-3 amazing contracts for a much smaller sample size than Cooper Rush has had.
Right. The bigger one was Seattle. So he had Aaron Rodgers, for whatever reason, was either injured or he sat out that week, whatever. The final game of that season, Matt Flynn threw like 6 touchdown passes. The Seahawks immediately gave him a 3-year deal for $22.5 million to be the guy, to be their franchise quarterback. They drafted Russell Wilson that same year. He ends up beating out Matt Flynn, and Matt Flynn never sees the light of day. So that's what happened to Matt Flynn. But he got that big, juicy deal. That was the biggest deal I believe he got of his career.
Right. So he did pretty well for himself off not a great.
Sure. Yeah. Off a glimpse. Off a glimpse. Yes.
Yeah. So no, I would tell you that I'm surprised, honestly, that no one has grabbed him before this. Right.
Yeah, because he just got re-signed this offseason like a 1-year deal or something, right?
Yeah. I think his win-loss record, I think I have it in front of me, is 26 wins, 11 losses.
How much do you factor that in? There are people that say in ESPN analyst land that wins are not a quarterback stat. What's your response to that?
I think that's a moronic statement.
Okay.
I mean, you look at last year. Would the New York Football Jets say that winning is not a quarterback stat after last year?
Well, that's an interesting follow-up. No, sure, that's an interesting follow-up.
I mean, if Tyrod Taylor played last year, or substitute almost anybody, right? The Jets have 3, 4, 5 wins. I would tell you, if the Jets had a average or better quarterback this year, they would have 3 or 4 or 5 more wins.
Wait, whoa. You said if they had an average quarterback, they would have had what this season?
3, 4, or 5 more wins.
Aaron Rodgers, does he have a 3-to-1 touchdown reception ratio? 24 touchdowns, 8 picks, 3,500 yards.
How many points did he score this past week?
He scored 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick follow-up here.
How did he do with a minute and a half left and a couple timeouts against the Colts on the ball in the 40-yard line?
Well, he gave the Jets the lead, and then the Jets defense gave up that lead to Anthony Richardson.
How many fumbles did he have this past week that he lost? Not that that's important. Is that a quarterback stat?
That was 1. Hey, by the way, we got a super chat coming in. This is from Nate. We always appreciate super chats. Soraya Luna.
Wow.
74 turnovers in 69 games, 8 passing touchdowns in 10 games this year, 2 passing touchdowns in 6 games last year. Aaron Rodgers has lost 41 fumbles in 20 years. Daniel Jones has lost 24 in 69 games. Your response?
Yeah. I was not saying that Daniel Jones was better than Aaron Rodgers. The only reason Aaron Rodgers came up is you came up with this fumble stat with your way to denigrate Daniel Jones.
Which is a good reason.
The Jets need to get their nose out of the air when they're looking at quarterbacks. And I was saying Daniel Jones is a much more viable person to trade for that will cost less money than JJ McCarthy, who they will not get.
I don't think it's about the money, because I think JJ McCarthy would still be cheaper than Daniel, but I think what you're saying is the trade assets, and that's
cost
true.
Is what I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about, right, we get Daniel Jones for a song. We don't have to give up a top 10 pick. We know that he's not injured. We know how that he doesn't have to, we don't have to wonder how he's going to come back from the meniscus. We don't have to wonder those things. And I'm not saying, but this is a chance. Again, I'll go back to it. The Jets have been on the wrong side of this for quarterback after quarterback. Pro Bowl quarterbacks that used to be Jets. And I think this is another option to look at the other way. This is a chance to get somebody else's leftovers that are pretty tasty for cheap.
Isn't there something to be said? You get what you pay for. So paying for cheap ass Daniel Jones, you're getting cheap ass Daniel Jones. Like sometimes there's a value deal.
How do the Steelers like cheap ass Russell Wilson?
Okay. There's an outlier in data, and
But
that
how
was an
bad?
outlier.
So we would be having this exact same conversation last year based on the way Russell Wilson played in Denver. People like, that guy's trash. Blah, blah, blah. They gave up
Even though his
$8 million.
stats say otherwise, he has the Aaron Rodgers stats this year, where he has he had a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio and all these other numbers.
Yeah. So I think it's a good opportunity. I think it's something. Nothing should be left off the table in considering how to get the Jets a quarterback. And he is an opportunity out there. You get him for nothing, and then I think if he only produced what he has in his career, and I think he could do better than that. The Giants are a terrible organization. They helped the Jets stay out of the running as one of the worst organizations in the league.
Interesting. All right, well, let's do this. Let's get the vibes. Jimmy Jets, baby. 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. All right, you love to see it, baby. Yeah. By the way, Nate, we put you down for a raffle ticket. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Keep it rolling, baby. And now, Jimmy Jets, by the way, you're now up to 30 gifted memberships so far this month. We appreciate it. You are well in the race, baby. We have our number one Austria Jet fan at number 1 at 38, Chef Kevin Gilbert at 37. We got a bunch of people tied at 30, including you, Jimmy Jets. We appreciate that. Let's quickly reveal the latest members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. We appreciate it. Shout out to old Jimmy Jets for his contributions. And again, that's more raffle tickets for old Jimmy coming in here. This has been some spirited conversation here back and forth, Pop, on a Christmas Eve. That's that's good here. That's healthy. By the way, here are the 5 new members to Boy Green Coffee Club. We have Attic, we have Allison Tuckwab, we have Dallas James Santana, Mr. Fulton, shout out to Mr. Fulton, and Shad Johnson. Mr. Fulton, by the way, is in the Special Olympics, which I saw you made that announcement the other day. So shout out to you, Mr. Fulton. Awesome work, and we're rooting for you. So keep us updated on all of your wonderful progress throughout the Special Olympics, my friend. We appreciate that. All right, beautiful. Pop, any more thoughts you'd like to share? Get off your chest. Festivus, as some have said.
I would ask you to look out there. What's the average number of fumbles per NFL start for a quarterback? And
per start? Like 0.25 maybe? I don't even know.
It's 0.6. 0.6. The AI overview says 0.6.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's correct, but that's what came up immediately. It's 0.6, which actually gets you about 9 a year. And is that true?
Sounds aggressive.
Yeah,
that sounds a little
high to me, but it's not lost. It's fumbles during the game.
No, right. Which again, to me, sure, if like fumbles recovered is a great shot. Oh, thank God we dodged that bullet. But just fumbles in general, that is just putting it up to the football gods in a weird shaped football that can be picked up by anybody. So that's why, like I said, fumbles to me, even if you recover your own, that's still, I'm glad that that's in the ledger for Pro Football Reference, that is something that counts, and they don't just say, hey, here were the fumbles lost. I appreciate that they say, here are all the fumbles that happened, because I think that's an important stat.
Yeah, and I would tell you that the average, it looks like for this year, is about 7.
Per game? Oh, per year.
Per year.
Oh, per year.
Yeah, and that's before the season's over. I don't know if that includes this past week. So I would, if you extrapolate, maybe it's in the 10 range average for this year.
So his 30 through the first 2 years are like, whoa, Jesus.
That's right. And it's he's on the better half of it now.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Wow, okay. Alarming.
No, I just wanted to get in perspective because we talked about Aaron Rodgers, who, by all accounts, is in the low end of at about 5 per year. Okay. And but yeah, the average is looks like it's about 7 or 8 through 16 games with 2 games to go. So,
well, I would say this: Daniel Jones is swimming in the same waters that all of these other. So, if people don't want to go too crazy and go JJ McCarthy, like for instance, we had a wonderful option earlier where Wild Wave was the person who contributed this. Get a Justin Fields, reset everything. And then 2026, make your crazy draft move if you need to make it. And I consider all these guys swimming in the same pool. Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Any of those are 1-year flyers for $5 to $10 million with incentives or God knows what. It's somewhere in that package. Which again, there's certain of those players I feel better than others. I'd much prefer Justin Fields to Mac Jones as a random example. Apparently, as Amid Hayoka brings up, former Jets quarterback plans on coming out of retirement. That's Teddy Bridgewater after winning a high school state championship as a coach. Salute to Teddy Bridgewater. He's another guy that's going to be thrown into the mix here. I really enjoy Teddy Bridgewater as a person, so he's a good one as well. But there's going to be a bucket of guys that are not in the top tier of Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold, and whatever they're going to do. It's a big ass other bucket. And in the other bucket, I'm intrigued by Justin Fields. I'm intrigued by some of these other guys. And as a potential if, as Reese says, we don't bring A-Rod back, obviously, for 2025. And yes, Yo Holmes, by the way, quick, he was a high school football coach. He's apparently retiring immediately after winning the championship. That's like what I want to do. I want to do something great, retire, and then I'm immediately the best of all time. Yeah, he's apparently coming out of football retirement to then play in the NFL again, according to Teddy himself. So we'll keep an eye on that.
All right. Very good, Boy Green. I just had to jump on.
All right. Any Christmas Eve festivities you wish to share? Let me throw this one at you real quick before we wrap up the show here. Got 300 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We appreciate it. So for our family, the only Christmas gift we got on Christmas Eve was the pajamas, the sleepwear, and then the majority of gift giving happened on Christmas. But I've been recently told that there is a different tradition. I don't know if it's religion-based or just people-based, that they open up all their gifts on Christmas Eve. Have you heard of this? Is this bonkers? Is this a wild concept? What have you heard of this? To me, I think it's blasphemy, but I just heard that recently.
Yeah, I have heard of it. It is different. It is outside the box. It is different than what most people do. But I would say, and I'm not sure why not the 22nd? Why not the 5th of December?
Right.
Why not January 12th? So it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe there's a reason behind it.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll just say that, Christmas is really not about the gifts, but not that you said it was. But yeah, it does seem odd and random. I guess the Three Kings, when they rolled up with the Frankenstein and mirth and all that other stuff.
Sure.
They showed up, when did they show up? I believe they showed up after he was born. So otherwise that might have been some line of thought reason.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. Yeah, I guess that.
It's cute. Everyone do what you want to do, as we all do. But yes, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Fair enough. Pop, first and lastly here, Christmas Eve traditions. What do those include in the Esden household?
Yeah, so we have done it over the years, but going to church for Christmas Eve service.
Okay. That's a night service normally, correct?
It's a night service. Okay. Our current church is going to do it at 4 p.m., which is very nice. 4 p.m.
Yeah.
So we'll go do that. We, as you well know, we watch Christmas movies.
Sure.
It got a little much. We got aggressive. We kept adding movies, and then you're like fighting to get the movies all in.
Yeah.
So we have a 3-pack we normally do. We took care of one last night.
Okay.
So in the day today, we'll watch Ralphie.
Nice.
I might have Haley get under the cabinet so I can take a picture of her.
Sure. That's a little cuter than the 50-year-old doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I'm not giving her $5 to do it. Oh. But I will take a picture. And and then tonight after church, we'll watch Scrooge. That's always the last movie. So.
And I'm assuming you guys got the Christmas vacation in last night.
Yesterday. Yep, yesterday.
Okay.
A real beaut, Clark.
That's all the quotable parts of that movie. I try to work them in wherever I can, and the bend over and I'll show you. You can't talk to me that way, Griswold. I wasn't talking to you.
Yes, I wasn't. Why is the carpet wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot. Yeah, there's a lot of good action.
Actually, I've got to give a shout out to your sister, who I know doesn't watch the show, but she got me this amazing gift.
Okay.
Last year.
Was that Game of Thrones?
No, what?
I
What were we
can't
just
see. We
talking
can't
about?
see the label. I don't know.
It's a Christmas Vacation Popco. What do we call these things?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Funko Pop is what the kids call them. Yeah. I believe if you turn the phone sideways, you get more cover space for future reference. But, yeah, I think that. Oh, he backstow shut it off. Hey, boy, parents. Technology. They confuse people. No, wait, we have him back. Okay, let's see. Back.
I don't know. I flipped the phone and then as you directed, and
There you go. Yeah, see, now we got a lot more cover space here. We're seeing a lot more action. Ah, nice. Okay, yeah, the Christmas vacation. There you go. Got everybody. Cousin Eddie in there. Sure. Yeah. The whole gambit. Very
Ellen
nice.
Clark. Actually, it's no cousin Eddie. That's
Oh, no.
it's
Okay.
Clark, Ellen, and the
Okay.
kids.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
But did you know that the kid in this version, in this Christmas story, because they change him out in every freaking movie, every
Yep.
vacation movie, the kid is the guy from
Big Bang.
Big Bang. Big Bang. Yep.
I didn't know that till somehow it came up, and some recency over the last couple of months. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, and apparently I can't remember. I don't want to say the wrong thing, whether he hates it or loves it. That like, every once in a while people are like, oh, you're the same guy. He's like, yeah. So I don't think he loves it from memory, but hey, I mean, it's a Christmas classic. So
It really hits home when he gets the gift from Aunt whatever the old woman. He gets the cat in the Jello mold. So he grabs that and he's headed to the living room to put the gifts under the tree. And when he turns around, you're like, oh yeah, there he is.
Yeah, you get it every once in a while. You're like, oh, well, there he is. That's the same guy.
If that kid knew that someday he'd been banging Penny, he'd be a lot happier.
Not too shabby. All right, Big Bang Theory, huh?
Can you say bang? Is that all right? Is that okay?
Yeah, actually, I don't know anymore. They're like Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. What are we allowed to say anymore? I don't know. It's a tough time here in 2024. Tough time. Got to figure everything out.
Good thing we woke up. All right.
I'm gonna leave that one right where it lies. Pop, God bless. Thank you so much for joining us on the Happy Holidays. Some interesting back and forth conversation that got the fans all revved up here. And hey, like I said, you're going to be a popular guy. We got you for Christmas, the day after Christmas, and Saturday. So a lot of hoopla coming up here on the show.
All right. Merry Christmas, everybody. Take time to relax, enjoy your family. And and who knew? Easy from this show, Cooking Grits, scored. Right now, he's got the girlfriend back. So it was all by Cooking Grits.
There you go. Big Bang. There you go. Very nice. There you
Bang
go. Pop.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Grits and Westerns. Apparently, that is the key to getting a girlfriend. Shout out to you, Easy, wherever you are. We see you. Let's get another caller in. We got Johnny Boy here on Christmas Eve. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, BG, just real quick, man. I know you're about to head out.
Mm-hmm.
If Daniel Jones, first and foremost, I know Woody listens to all the Jets.
Apparently.
Different
hey,
things and whatnot.
Hey, Woody.
Right?
Good to see you, pal. Yeah.
If he's listened to this, right, and he wants to take Daniel Jones, just know that probably 80% of all of the Jets fans will go up to One Jets Drive, pitchfork, torches, the whole nine, and just tear apart that whole One Jets Drive.
Terrible.
Please, no. I'd rather have Joe Namath as the quarterback over
Current
Daniel
age.
Jones.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about here? I just, I get the theme of what my pop is saying is that you get him on a cheap flyer and he's mobile, but there's just too much bullshit around it. And then, like, in theory, Daniel Jones would come to the Jets to be motivated to stick it to the Giants to show that he's actually this. But if he comes to the Jets and shows that he's actually the same thing he was with the Giants, I just, I don't know.
If we were going to go that route, I'd rather say with Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. Rodgers or Justin Fields. There's like a list of guys I would go to before I go to Daniel Jones, to be honest, to be candid.
Yeah, but I just wanted to come up here real quick. I love your pops, man. That, he's always, but not on that one, man. I mean, if that's the case, have Daniel Jones go take and be QB1 over Dak Prescott over there with the Cowboys.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you guys can have him. Enjoy. DJ, go down to Dallas for 2025. Enjoy. Yeah. No, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, man. Hey, have a Merry Christmas. Probably rock it in the morning. Well, probably not because I got a whole bunch of kids and they're gonna be one on opening up all their gifts
That's
and
true.
whatnot.
Yeah.
So, hey, do that and hey, man. R.I.P. to Roger F. Man. I don't know if you know. So
Yes. Yeah.
sucks, but Jets community, stay together, united. Everybody
100%.
have a great holiday. Enjoy it. But hell no to Daniel Jones. No to Daniel Jones.
Amen. I love it, Johnny. Hell no. Not up in here. Not up in here. No, sir. Thank you to the 300 plus people in the room. Historic show. Thanks for all the gifted memberships, everybody in the super chats. We added all of those up for all your memberships and other gifts. So shout out everybody. That was awesome. Particular shout out to all of our wonderful people here. Jimmy Jets, who had a fun show. Austria Jet fan, Julio Guzman, Nate, everybody for jumping in on all the fun. That was a doozy. We will be live. What's today? Tuesday. Oh, actually, we'll be up for Boy Green Meets Woody, I think. I think we'll be having that coming up at 3 o'clock, so keep an eye out for that. But we'll also be live at a minimum tomorrow morning with my pop for a Merry Christmas episode. If you can't join us, I totally understand. Enjoy time with your family. But if you're on here, because we all love talking Jets, feel free to join us. Again, we'll be live tomorrow morning at 7:30. God bless everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I love you guys and gals, everybody in between. And we'll see you on the show soon. Take care, everybody.